Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you all know that we are dealing with PSIR answer writing approaches, right? So in this series today we are starting with topic called feminism. So the question, which is a very high profile question, it can be called as because it is very popular question, which has been asked in 2010. That is comment on personal is political, right? So while dealing this question, I will tell you various approaches that how you can deal with this question. So let's begin. Now let's concise that from our basic understanding that what we can understand from this very question, right? So when we see this question just limited to two words, that is personal and another is political. So when we if you don't understand, see, you just have a basic idea about feminism, but still you can't understand, you can't just break this question, then just go back to the basics. When we understand the word political, what comes in our mind? State. Okay, what else comes in our mind? Think of it. State and legislation. Okay, power. What else come to your mind? Think of it. Yes, think of it. Think some more points. So state comes to our mind, legislation comes to our mind, power comes to our mind, and another thing which comes to our mind is you can say like politics. Yeah. And then when we think of the word personal, then what comes to our mind? Personal, that means individualism. Yeah. Limitations. So these few things comes to our mind. Now we have to connect all these things together in such a way that it will deal with feminist tradition. Okay, it has to deal with feminist traditions. Now let's break this question in a very easy manner. So first of all, we have to now go back to the basic understanding of this question. So when we go back to the basic understanding and when we will make the structure for this question by just keeping these points in mind, then first of all, what we see that the word personal is political was coined by whom? It was coined by Carol Hennis, right? Okay. Who was he? A radical feminist. This much background you need to give in introduction. It was popular in second wave feminism. And what is the core concept? Personal is political. Still if you can't, if still you can still if you cannot tackle the question, then think of opposite of personal, that is what? Personal, that is public sphere. Yeah. So if personal is political, that means now just reverse the question. If personal is political, that means they are also asking that what about if rather public sphere is political or not, rather public sphere is political or apolitical. Then what feminists say? That we have to now create the difference between personal versus public. So this is the demand of core feminism, right, in this question. Now in the second wave feminism, we will be writing these must point in the introduction, and then we will give a connecting dot here between personal and public sphere, between you can say practice versus theory. So this will be our introduction. Now let's see what could can be the ideal introduction for this question. So the slogan personal is political has become the relying point, has become, or you can say the central point among radical feminists, right? Okay. The term coined by Carol Hannis became prominent during second wave feminism. I've just, you can see, I've just framed the sentence. Nothing else I have done. So the term personal is political. So how women has faced exploitation in both public as well as private sphere. So it is very unnatural that women face exploitation in public sphere also. How? Through low paid jobs, through mass unemployment, or you can say layoffs. Just do brainstorming. And in the private sphere, we all know there is exploitation of women by domestic violence And what radical feminists call they call it as reserved army of whom? Of capitalists. This is the also argument of Marxist, right? Now, this is the part of introduction. Another, adding this to the introduction, we can hence write that the exploitation of women shows the subordination of women in both theory of politics as well as practice of politics. So, this is nothing, just a fancy statement which will give an examiner a good impression. Now, coming to the argument that why we have written here politics, because now we are going to connect it with state, with politics, with the demand of the question, right? So now we have done with the introduction part. Now coming to the body part. So when we will move ahead in the body part of the same question, then what comes to our mind? The approach should be very basic, which I have already told you, that start with the context, start with the historical approach, right? So in historical approach, if we will go to this question, then what comes to our mind? When in history, what comes to our mind? That women have faced exploitation, right, in both personal and political or public sphere. One point this comes to our mind. Now we will move ahead with the body part. So what we will write here in the context that traditionally women have been facing women have been facing exploitation, or you can write that state has been ignoring women's exploitation. Now see, this is a statement which I have written. Now what I need to do, I need to clarify my statement, right? I need to do clarification of this statement. So to clarify this statement, what I will do, I will give the impact of this, that what happens due to all these things. We see today absence of labor force, as well as we see low paid jobs. So all these are what? All these are impacts of, all these are what? All these are impacts of today. You can say today all these are impacts of making women exploitation in their private sphere as well as public sphere. Right now, all these things have become what? So much natural, or you can say so much normalized. Hence, these things as this thing seems as natural. Who says this? Simone D. Beaver, Beaver, Semondi Beaver. Okay, now we have given the body part. Now we will give more dimension. We have given a specific part related to the question. Now we will give global statements. We will give global perspective. So in IR, what we see in IR, who say? Cynthia Inloy. In her book Banana Bases and Beaches, what? Where are the women's? So see what I am doing, that in the very beginning I have given this as a context of the statement. I have explained the statement with this formula. First I have given assertion, then I have given the reasoning. In the example part I have used impact. Right now, for making my answer more, you can say diversified, I have given global context. Right now, now I will give some more scholars, that all these started with Aristotle and all these are running today too. Okay, so now let's see the answer supposed to be. So in the body I'll write historically women has women has primarily acquired the private or domestic sphere. Everyone knows this, which is considered to be personal and apolitical. So I have just explained the statement. Now see, when we say personal is political, we assume that women's issues are not the concerns of the state. Okay, then whose issue? The traditional framework. Now see, this is what? This is a assertion. Now I will give the reasoning explanation. The traditional framework considers private or personal sphere to be beyond the scope of state. Now see, still I can feel that I don't have such a reasoning which can justify my statement. So I will give the impact of this, that this can be proved through the impact, right? So this highlights the absence of inclusivity in labor market. Women are given low paid jobs because due to patriarchal socialization, they lack low skills. Hence remains with hence remains with subordinate status. This subordination due to consideration of private sphere as a political makes women exploitation normalized in the public sphere, hence naturalized. So I have also written a scholarly view. So what I have done in the body, I have given a assertion, then I have given a reasoning, and then I have given the impact to prove my statement. Now I am giving what? I am giving a diverse view through IR perspective. In international politics, Cynthia and Loy in her book Banana Bases and Beaches 1989. See, these things are what value addition has raised the question of women in public sphere as where are the women, right? Now, so the essence of above discussion highlights the separation between personal and political, which starts with Aristotle and is continuing till the day. So see, these perspective, Aristotle perspective, people will not think so deep that they will connect it with Western political thought, ideology along with Western political thought. Now, to conclude, we can say that power is present in every form of life, including power is present. Power, what all these things are? These all things are a form of power. Okay, coercion is what? Exploitation is what? A form of power. So it's present. I have again connected it with what? With theory. So see, ideology is being connected with theory. Ideology is being connected with Western political thought. Now ideology will be connected with current affairs. So I have used various perspective of the syllabus itself to diversify my answer. And I have also included ideology with international politics with Cynthia and Louis. So to conclude, we can say that power is present in every form of life, including private and public sphere. Today, the Me Too movement illustrating harassment and later Pause Act 2013 and same-sex marriage debate in India today shows what? Today shows promotion of legal, social, and institutional reforms affirming the feminist claim of personal is political. So, with all this, what comes in my mind that first of all, what I have done, I have given the explanation of the statement, just basic understanding that I have understood the statement in the introduction itself. In the body, what I have done, in the body, I have first of all given historical perspective, just single. I have not elaborated too much because just 10 marks question, right? Then after I have what done, I have done what? I have given ARE reasoning, right? In place of E, I have used impact part. To diversify, I have given global politics perspective, then after relation with Western political thought, then theory, in conclusion, okay, for power, and then I have given current significance. So see, just for 10 marks, how much diversified answer I have written. I have not just s- explained single sentence in such a boring manner, right? So just use this